Today we are going to look at how to get started with Tally accounting software for a trading company. So if you're new to Tally and you want to know or learn this before, let's say, applying for a job or when you're going for an interview, maybe this video will help you. If you're already working for a trading company and you just want to brush up your skills, again this will be very useful. We are going to cover how to use Tally, we'll try to understand how it is structured, what features are available where, so that when you want to explore it more, you can do it very easily. So in this video we will cover, let's say, downloading the software from the website. If you do not have a license, it will give you certain options where you can continue in educational mode and use it for testing purposes. In my system, since I have a license, I will see that it will get activated automatically, but you can still use it in the educational mode where certain dates are locked. So you can still do your transactions on first or the end of the month, and you can check how the software is working. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just try it out very easily. So let's get you started. Let's first go to the website from where you can download the software, and let's begin from there. So you can log on to this website called tallysolutions.com. This is the official website. Click on the download button. Based on the release which is available, you'll be able to download it from here. You can choose the option of new user, existing user, or student. For me right now, I want to download it as a student to learn the system. Once the software is downloaded, either you can open the folder or directly click on open file to start the installation process. Let's select yes, we want to install it. Now I have got other Tally software installed on my system, but for now I'm going to select the option of installing new. I'll configure the Tally path. And I will save and install it in a new location. So I have changed the location of the application manually in this case. If you're installing it for the first time, you can simply go ahead and install it in its default location. Once the software is installed, you can click on Start TallyPrime and the software will get started. Now, once you have installed the software, you will see a list of companies. Obviously, if you're doing it for the first time, you'll not see anything. Before I start creating a company which is available here, I want to first select a location where I want to save my data. So for that, I can go to data in the menu bar, click on the data path, select the company data path, double click on it and choose the data path that you want. So here I'm going to choose that, okay, I'm just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this particular folder called presentation for storing my data. Now this will become my default path whenever I open the software. Similarly, you can also define a default backup path. So whenever you're taking a backup, it will automatically take it in this folder. Once you have selected this, click on the accept, and now this becomes your default data path. Now let's create a company. In this example today, we'll start with the basics. We will try to create a company for a trading business and record the purchase and sales for that. So we'll create a company. Let's call it Safety Trading Enterprises UAE, and we can define the address here. Let's say 208 23rd floor, the tower. And then I will select the default Emirates. Since I'm creating this company which belongs to UAE, I can see a list of Emirates, so the cities inside the UAE. So I'm going to quickly select that. Depending on the country that you are selecting, it might give you a list of cities for that. You can provide more information like PO box, telephone, mobile number, fax, email ID, website, and the most important part, when you're starting to use the software for the first time, you need to tell the system what is your financial year beginning date. So let's say in this example, I'm going to select 1st Jan 2025. Second question is, when are your books going to start in the software? So let's say I'm already using some manual form of accounting, or maybe I'm using some other software and it is not a good fit, and I'm switching over to Tally. In that case, I can define the exact starting date. So let's say maybe I'm going to start this software for 1st of November 2025. So I can do that. So whenever, after selecting this, whenever I input any opening balance for my customers, suppliers, inventory, system will know that it is the balance starting from 1st of November and not 1st of January. This is an important point to remember. If you want to enable edit log, if you want to track the changes, whoever is making a change in any voucher or transaction, then you can enable this option from here. For now, I will keep it as no. So by default, based on the country, the currency information will be picked up. If you want to modify it, however, you can still do it. Now I want to accept the default information which is coming based on my country here, and I will click on accept. Immediately after saving the company data, it will ask you for basic information about the company. So you might see something like this, very simple. Maintain accounts, yes. Enable bill-wise entry, yes. That means we are going to track customer and supplier invoices by each invoice number or bill number. Then do you want to maintain inventory? Since we are doing a trading company example, yes. And do you want to integrate accounts with inventory? Select yes over here. Now if you have tax, if your company is already registered for it, you can click on enable VAT as yes. It will ask you for the tax identification number. Provide that, it's a 15-digit number. Provide the registration date and the reporting periodicity. So if your reporting period is quarterly, select that option over here. If your company is located in designated zone market, yes, so let's look into those advanced features later on. If you click on enter and keep moving forward, the software will give you more options. So it will go till the end and then it will ask you whether you want to accept. The accept button is same as in here. Now I will just click yes, and now my company is ready. There are 3 accounts which will be required for your basic accounting. So we will go ahead and create that. But before that, let's also try to understand how the software is structured. So here, this is what we call as gateway of Tally. The first part is for creating masters. What are masters? Like your accounts, income account, expense, assets and liabilities, your customers and suppliers, your inventory, your employees, all these are called masters, which you will create one time and use it again and again. The second part is the transactions, which are your day-to-day voucher entry. So day-to-day transactions will be recorded from here, and you can see a list of all such transactions in your daybook. Now the third part is the output. So you have created masters, you have recorded transactions in those masters, and to see the output, to see the reports, you will go to the report section. The standard important reports are listed right on your gateway of Tally, like balance sheet, profit and loss and stock reports. And to display more reports, either you can click on the display option, or in the newer version there's a better option of clicking on go to and looking at all the reports which are available over here, including your custom reports if you have created any. Now to close any screen in Tally, simply you can click on the escape key on your keyboard, or you can click on the quit button. So for example, I'm on daybook, and if I want to close this, I can either click on the quit button here or click escape or press escape key on the keyboard. Now let's get started. Create ledger. This is where we are going to create our basic accounts. We need sales account. When you're creating accounts, it is important to select the right group. Wherever there are masters available, a list of such masters will open on the right side. So for creating sales, I need to select the appropriate group. So here it is sales accounts in this example. Inventory values are affected, yes. So whenever I use this account of sales ledger, system will ask me which or what inventory item have you sold. Whether it is taxable, in my case, yes. So I'm going to select taxable 5% goods. This information is enough for me, and I'll click on accept. I need to also create an account related to purchases, which falls under purchase accounts grouping, where the inventory values are affected, yes. So whenever I select purchase account, the system is going to ask me what are the inventory items that you have purchased. Click on accept. One more important account is for the tax. So I'm going to create an account called VAT, which falls under duties and taxes. And since Tally is a very tax compliant product in most of the countries where you will see it, it's available. Based on the country for which you have created this company database, you will see the tax related options for that country available for you for selection easily. So I'm going to select VAT and accept it. Straightforward, 3 accounts created. I'll click on the quit button or press the escape key on the keyboard, and it goes back to the gateway of Tally. Now next, again I'm going to use the create option, and this time I'm going to create a stock item. So I've got inventory masters. Under that I can create stock items. If you want to group your inventory, you can do that. If you want to categorize it, you can do that. It will help you in your reporting and in your stock related queries while doing data entry. So let's create a stock item for now. We will look at the grouping option a little later. So here I want to create an item called Fevicol tube. Let's just call it 5 ml. This is only for example, this is only a sample data. Now this screen, whatever screen you are opening in Tally, you have the option of configuring that particular screen using the configure button or pressing the F12 key on your keyboard. When you press that button, you will see all the options which are available. If configurations are set to no, click on yes, and you will see the list expanding, and you will see what all options are available. Now these are different things like part number, descriptions, notes, etc. Whatever is required you can enable by simply going here, type Y, press enter, and it will know that you are typing yes. If you don't need something, press N or type no and press enter. And once you are through, you can come here and click on accept. Now I'm going to create Fevicol tube. Now this is the list of groups, that is, if I've created stock groups I can select it. For now I don't need it. The important part when you're doing trading is to define a unit of measure for your item. So let's say I want to create a unit which is called as pieces. So the short form for it is PCS and the name is full pieces. And do you want to track this particular unit in decimal places? For pieces, no, because I am not going to sell half a piece, I'm going to sell the entire piece, so there is no need of a decimal for me. But if I'm creating a unit called kgs or liters, maybe yes, I want to define it in 2 decimal or 3 decimal places so that I can sell it in half kg or 250 grams, something like that. So for now decimal places is 0. I'll click on accept, and it is a taxable product. Accept, my stock item is saved. Similarly, I'm going to create one more item. Let's call it WD40, and it is also measured in pieces, and I can click on accept. Now there are additional options available, as we know that when we click on configure. So for example, if you want to use standard buying and selling rates, that is, you want to define what is the cost of the product, what is the selling price of the product, you can enable this feature from here, yes, and then it will come or pop up on your screen where you can say that you want to set standard rates. Press Y, click enter, and then you can define the standard cost and the standard selling price. So let's say I want to define the selling price as 50 and my standard cost as 40. And you can also have the applicable date. So for example, if the price is changing from 1st of January 2026, you can add another line over here. You can define the date, and you can say that from 1st Jan 2026 the price is going to become 52. Now once you are done, click on accept, and the record is saved. Now you can click on quit, go back to the gateway of Tally. Now comes the recording of vouchers part. So you click on vouchers. On the right side you will see a list of all the common vouchers which you're going to use, and then there are arrow keys. So let me make the screen a little smaller so it fits properly. Now let's see, you have the arrow key. So when you click on it, you will see additional options related to purchases. So here I can record a purchase order, receipt note, and then a purchase. For time being, I just want to keep my records simple. I want to record my accounting entry. So I'm going to click on purchase, enter the date of transaction, select or enter the supplier invoice number. Let's call it S123-45. What is the invoice date? And select the party account, in this case the customer or the supplier. So for example, if I'm recording a purchase, I'm going to select a supplier. I don't have one, so instead of going back and creating a master from here, I can simply click on the create option in the list, and I will be taken to the ledger creation screen directly. So let's say I'm going to create a supplier. Let's call it Fevicol. distribution company. I'm just taking a simple random name. And now the grouping is important. Now all my suppliers, they are grouped under sundry creditors. Select that. Based on the grouping, these options are going to change so that you can record appropriate information. So for sundry creditors, I can define the credit period. So if they are giving me a credit, let's say they have a 15 days credit they have offered me, so I can select that over here, and I can also specify the credit limit. Now I can give out more information. Let's say this is warehouse number 23. You can define more information, select the right emirate, provide contact information, and in the end you can enter the tax identification number. Once you are okay, click on accept and move it. Now you can record additional information. For now I'm just going to accept. I don't need additional information. All the pop-ups which are appearing on your screen can be controlled using the configure button. So with this configure button, for each screen will work on that specific screen itself. So let's say if you want to enable something or disable something, click as yes or no based on your preference. We can have detailed discussions or detailed videos about different options which are available, but few things which are very important for you to remember. Now here you can use common ledger for item allocation. If I select it as yes, I don't have to select the purchase account for every line item again and again. I can just select this purchase account on top and it will be applied to all the items. Now second thing, if you want to write additional descriptions for your stock items, then you can make it yes, so you can enter additional description when you're making purchase or sale, and that will be printed on your voucher also. Click on accept. Now let's say I want to buy Fevicol tube here, but the moment I start typing, a list will open and I can see the product names which are available. I'm going to select Fevicol tube. I want to order 120 pieces. Price for each tube is, let's say, 3 dirhams. Now once you click enter, you will automatically go to the second line. You can select another item. Now in this example, I'm going to select the second item also from the same supplier. That also, let's say I'm buying 60 pieces, and since I have already provided the standard cost and selling price for my purchase transaction, it is picking up the standard cost of the item. But if you want to change it, you can still do that. Maybe the company has negotiated a better price and now they are getting it at 38, so I can change it. Now it will go to the next line. I can enter the third item, or once you are finished, click on enter again, and you can see that you have moved below the items area. Now in this case, you can select the ledger account. So here if I press the space bar, now the list has opened. I want to select the VAT, and the tax will get calculated automatically because I have already provided the TRN or the tax identification number for the supplier. My company is registered for tax, so it will automatically calculate VAT for purchase and sale. One thing that I needed to select here beforehand was purchases. Not a problem. We'll select it now, and then once you are okay with it, let's press on enter. Let's go and see what options are available after this. Now when you're creating a purchase invoice, there is a reference created for this one, and by default it is selected as new reference, which is good enough. We'll select that. It will automatically pick up your supplier invoice number as a reference number, which that is also fine. Payment due date is based on the supplier master. It is showing 15 days and it is calculating the due date of this particular invoice. That also looks good. And then if you want to provide a narration, you can provide it here, then click on accept and the purchase transaction is saved. Now let's quickly look at some reports. We can use the go to option. We can say outstanding. So here we have got different outstanding reports. I want to see it group wise because I have got a group of suppliers and group of customers. So I can select sundry creditors here, and then I can see that okay, we have to pay this amount to this particular company. Now there are certain options available on the right side. For example, if you have multiple suppliers appearing here and you want to click on ledger and see the detailed about each supplier, so then in this case it will show you a detailed outstanding with each invoice number. So if you have multiple invoices, multiple suppliers, it will break it down and group it accordingly. If you want to drill down, That means if you want to open the transactions, you can either double click from here itself, select the transaction, double click, and it will open it for you, or you can press the enter key on your keyboard. That will help you drill down. Quit to close the screen, or escape button on the keyboard to come out of it. Now on the gateway of Tally, you will see an option called stock summary. When you click on it, you should see a list of all your stock items, the quantity, rate, and the value of such items in your stock. If you have already provided stock groups, let me go back and show you. Create stock item. If you have provided stock groups here for your stock items, then it will group your report automatically by those stock groups, and you can change the view. You can see it by stock groups or by the item automatically. Going back, now we'll go back to the vouchers, and let's say we want to record a sales of these items. So I click on sales, and I want to choose the date of 2nd November. Now if you don't see the date option being, let's say you're not coming to the date option by default, you can click on the date option here and choose the voucher date, or you can click on the configure button and you can say that okay, there is an option which says, do you want to skip the date field during voucher creation? You can click it as make it no, so that it will by default ask you the date of every voucher. Now moving ahead, let's say I've got a cash customer who's walked into the company. So I'm going to select cash, can provide more information here, select the sales account, select the item that you're selling. Let's say I want to sell the Fevicol tube, wants to buy 12 pieces, and let's say the price of each one is 5 grams. Similarly, they want to buy WD-40 and they want to buy 6 pieces of it. Since I've provided the standard selling price, it is picking up automatically 50. Once I've selected all the items, I'll press enter, come to this part where the subtotal is showing here, and now I will be able to select my ledger accounts. So list of ledger accounts, VAT, and tax gets calculated automatically. Enter. Let's go step by step. Provide a narration if you want, and if you want to accept this as it is, click on yes, accept. Now escape keyboard button, and then let's look at our stock summary. So now you can see the stock is affected. Enter. I can see the inward was 120 pieces and the outward is 12 pieces. Enter. I can see all the transactions which I've entered for this particular stock item. Going back to the gateway of Tally, I'll go to ledger vouchers. Now this is a very common report. This will show you a ledger for any particular account. So I want to see the ledger for my supplier, Fevicol Distribution Company, and I can see all the transactions. Escape to come out. You click on go to, type outstanding. Now you want to see, again, I want to have a look at my group wise outstanding right now. And I want to see for my customers, which are 0, because I have recorded a sales invoice for a cash customer. So that means cash was already debited and my sales revenue was credited. So for that, to see how it is impacting a profit and loss, let's look at it. Profit and loss, I've got sales of 360. I've got a cost of sale calculated here based on my opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, 264, and that is the gross profit. Escape. Now going back to vouchers, let's say I want to record, this was a cash customer, so the money is already in cash. Now I want to pay my supplier. So I click on payment. I select the date of payment. I want to pay from my cash account. I've got a balance of 378 in my cash from the sale that I did just now. I want to select Fevicol Distribution Company and pay them, let's say 300. The moment I enter, move ahead, and then it will automatically point towards method of adjustment, and I want to adjust it against an invoice. So if I say against reference, it will give me a list of all the open transactions. So I'm going to select the invoice here, and then it will allocate this 300 dirhams payment against that particular invoice. You can provide a narration if required. Click on accept and save the transaction. Now again, configure button is available here. You can choose what options you want from here. You can enable or disable such options. If you have enabled anything, or if you see something extra on your screen when you're trying it out, click on the configuration, see what options are available for you to choose from. So now if I go back here and if I look at my go to outstanding report, now I will go for ledger outstanding. I will see an outstanding for a specific supplier. So here I can select Fevicol distribution. Now I can see that the opening amount was 2772 and the pending amount is now 2472 because we made a payment of 300. Click on enter and you can see the transactions for this particular line. So I've got a purchase and a payment recorded. Now before we move ahead, we'll record an expense now. Just a heads up, at Sefi Computers Dubai, we've been helping companies implement ERP and accounting solutions since 2011. We have products like Sage, Microsoft, Tally, QuickBooks, Zoho, and so on and so forth. So if you're looking for an ERP or an accounting software for your company, get in touch with us. You can find the link in the description and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Now, going back to our demonstration. Now let's click on vouchers again and record a payment entry. I'm already in the payment here and I want to record a payment from my cash and I want to pay for an expense, but I've not created any expense accounts yet. So I'm going to create it directly from here. So let's say I'm going to pay for loading and unloading expense. Now this could be classified as direct or indirect expense based on the nature. So if it's related to your purchases, then it would be a direct expense. If it's related to your sales, then it would be classified as indirect expense. That's based on your accounting requirement. So I'm going to create this as an indirect expense. My inventory values are not affected. Let's say this is not VATable for this example. So I'm going to accept it. I'm paying 50 dirhams for loading. Then I can enter more such line items. For now, this is the only expense I want to record. I want to call it as loading expense and I want to accept it and save it. Simple. Now we have not seen the option of printing yet. So if you want to print any transaction, let's say you can do it in two ways. Either you can visit the daybook, look at all the transactions which you have recorded. Let's say you want to open this payment and then press Ctrl P on your keyboard as a shortcut, or click on this print menu here and click on the current option. Let's look at the preview. This is your default payment voucher preview. If you're fine with it, go ahead, escape to come out of that preview and click on the print button, or from the preview itself you can press on Alt P as a shortcut and then it will take you further print. Based on the default printer, it will show you the option. For me, the default printer is set to Microsoft Print to PDF. I can show you that. When I click on the print option, I can see the printer from here. If you would like to change it, you can see certain options on the right side. Click on the printer and then you will see a list of all the printers from your Windows machine, and then you can choose the printer applicable for you. For example, if you want to print on this machine, I can select it and then this print will be taken directly on the printer. Similarly, you can also change, again you see the configure option or the configure option on the bottom right. So if you want to change the way the print is coming out, you can configure it. You can enable or disable the options based on your requirements, and then you can check your preview and print it accordingly. Escape now. Same thing, we can do it for all the vouchers. Now let's say if you want to default it. So for example, you don't want to do it this way. Whenever you record a transaction, you want to be able to print it immediately at the time of saving the transaction. So for that, you can go back. There is an option in the masters. I'll click on alter. Now this is for changing something in the master. So I click on alter. There is an option called as voucher type. I can select here, let's say payment, because I'm recording payment transaction. And here there is an option which says print voucher after saving. Select it as yes, and I want to accept it. I just want to make this particular change. Now let's quickly go back to vouchers, record another payment. I'm going to use the same expense account and record another 10 dirhams over here. Provide a narration, accept, and now the moment I accept, that means click on yes, it will immediately ask me give me the option of printing this particular voucher. So I can click on preview, have a look at it and print it from here directly. So right now I don't want to print it, so I'm going to quit or escape the screen. Now, looking at the vouchers, you have the standard vouchers here where we saw recording of purchase, sales, recorded a payment, receipt can be recorded. It looks exactly the same like your payment. So for that, let's record a sale to a credit customer. So here I'm going to select, I'm going to create a customer. I'm going to call it Al Safa Trading Company, and they are grouped under my sundry debtors. So the customers are grouped under sundry debtors. If you're giving them a credit, you can record it credit period here. I'm not giving them any credit, so I'm going to go ahead. Now I can provide information about the address. Ideally you should do that so that it will print properly. So I will say that, okay, this is shop number 23, square, for that. And also it's important to provide the tax identification or tax registration number. Once you have provided all the required information, click on accept. I don't have any further information to be recorded here, so I'm going to select the sales. They are buying, let's say, Fevicol tube, and they want to have 24 pieces, which is fine. That's the only item that they are buying. I want to select VAT, and the tax will get calculated here, and I will accept, and the sales invoice is saved. Now this is a credit customer. So now if I go and look at my, let's say, ledger wise outstanding, and I select Safa, I can see that they have to pay 126 to my company. Escape, go back. I'm in the voucher screen. I was recording sales. Now but I'll click on receipt. Now don't use this option when you're in the middle of a transaction. Make sure that the screen is empty, because if you're in the middle of a transaction, then it will change that particular transaction to another voucher type. So this one is blank for me. I'm going to click on receipt, select cash, they're paying cash, and select Al Safa, and then I can see they have to pay 126. They're making payment to me, full one, and then I want to record it against the invoice that I've generated, and that is invoice number 2. Go ahead, click on enter, it will move to the next screen, or click on accept and it will save the receipt for you. That's how we can record a receipt. Then let's say if you want to transfer money from one bank to another bank, or cash to bank, then you can use the Contra feature over here. Click on the Contra feature. Maybe I had invested money when I started the company, so there is money in my bank account, and I want to transfer some of it to my cash. So the account which is receiving the money will be entered on top. So it's consider this screen like a receipt. So let's say I want to record it. I want to receive money in cash. I have not created a bank account here, so I'm going to create one quickly. So let's say my bank is called as Mashfiq Bank. It is grouped under bank accounts. You can provide the account number here. So you can provide the international bank account number, bank SWIFT code, and then you can even select the bank name from the list of banks. So if you are on active Tally, you have an active license or subscription with Tally, then you will see a list of all the banks. So the moment you start typing here, then you can select Mashfiq UAE in this case. This will also help you define your check layout. So if you want to print checks from the system, you can do that. So let's say for now this is enough for me. I'm going to accept, and I'm transferring 5,000 from my bank account. What is the mode of payment? Now either whether it is a check by which I'm withdrawing cash, or whether it's something else. So in this case, obviously it is check. So I'm going to write the instrument number, that is check number 1. Now since I have not recorded any receipt of funds till now in my Mashfiq Bank, I have not recorded my capital entry. I don't see any balance over there, but we'll do that also quickly just to understand how the system works. So I'm gonna provide a narration in this case. Cash withdrawn from bank for petty cash purpose. Accepted. Contra entry will be used to transfer money from one cash to bank, bank to cash, or bank to bank, cash to cash purposes. Now let's say I want to record a receipt, so, or a journal entry. We've seen the receipt, so let's say I want to record a journal entry. For that, I click on F7 or journal option over here. On 1st of November, I can select what account I want to debit and credit. So let's say I want to debit, create a depreciation expense account, which is part of my indirect expenses. Save, and let's say I want to record it as 500, and I will credit an accumulated depreciation account, which is grouped under fixed assets. If you have any questions or confusions about recording of depreciation entry, you can quickly visit our video where we have given a very quick shot on how a depreciation entry is recorded in Tally. Click on accept, and we have a detailed video where we have shown how to create a fixed asset register and maintain fixed assets using Excel. So initially, if you want to use Excel to record and create a list of all the assets, you can do that. Let's say I want to credit 500. This is my depreciation entry, and I want to accept it. So it's simple as that. So when you're recording a journal entry, account to be debited, what is the amount, account to be credited, and what is the amount. If you have more than one line items, you can go on, no problem. Click on accept, and the journal entry is saved. This is the standard system that you need to understand and use on a day-to-day basis. If you want to use advanced features, like if you want to use manufacturing, you want to use payroll and all, you can learn it, but these are the basics that every company would need. Additionally, you can click on other vouchers over here, show the inactive one, and it will give you a list of all the voucher types which are possible in Tally. So let's say you want to record in your company, record purchase orders. So you can click on it, and the moment you click enter, system knows that you're trying to activate a new transaction type. You click on yes, and it will activate it for you. Similarly, if you want to activate purchase order, then follow it up with a goods receipt note, then the receipt note is also available, and then you can record the purchase. So you can see purchase order, receipt note, and purchase. And on the sales side, you have the option of recording sales order, delivery note, and sales. So all these options can be enabled. For a trading company, if you are maintaining stocks in different places, you can create locations for your stock. So here there is an option to create locations. So you can have main location or main godown or warehouse or store. Then you have shop 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So when you're recording any purchase or sale or transactions related to inventory, it will ask you what is your location where you are buying or going to store this item to when you're buying it, or what is the location from where you're selling a specific item, which can be defined over here. Now these are the basics to get you started with Tally. We can have more detailed videos on how you can go in depth with your software, and will help you get up and running in the system and use the features in an efficient way. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the description below, so that let us know if you need any specific, or if you have any specific doubt which you need clarity on, we'll help you get that sorted out. Wish you all the best. Thank you and have a lovely day.